On January 4th, 2024, PixelAndy became only the third person in the 35-year history of NES Tetris to reach the true kill screen, where the game crashes.
Yes! You don't understand how hard that was.
In the world of professional Tetris, this would have been historic enough. But just 1 week later, on January 11th, he did something even bigger. He annihilated the world record for highest score, perhaps the most coveted and prestigious record in the game. How did such a major leap happen so suddenly? It involved a lot of genius strategies, but surprisingly, the key breakthrough seemed to be a mental one rather than a physical one. So to break it all down, it's important to start with how PixelAndy got himself in this position in the first place. Most of the best Pro Classic Tetris players over the past decade have played their entire careers in the public eye, appearing in live tournaments in front of large crowds. But for the first year of PixelAndy's Tetris career, no one knew who he was. He began playing in 2019 exclusively in online events where he could be anonymous. When 2020 rolled around, the Classic Tetris World Championship, normally the biggest annual live tournament in the scene, was forced to move online due to the pandemic. Andy wanted to participate, but webcams were mandatory because there was a large prize pool at stake. So he ended up face revealing. And in doing so, he shocked the scene when another rising star, Dog playing Tetris, walked into his room. It turns out that Andy was Dog's older brother. In the classic Tetris scene, it's incredibly rare for top players to be related to each other. But what was even more incredible was what happened in the tournament. For context, the heavy favorite that year was the reigning two-time world champion, Joseph Saley. Dog playing Tetris was considered a dark horse. But almost no one considered PixelAndy to have a serious shot at winning. And as fate would have it, Dog and Andy both made it all the way to the finals, defeating the entire rest of the Tetris world. And Andy, the underdog, would come within an inch of victory, only for Dog to miraculously come back and win the 2020 world title. And thus began a several-year stretch where Andy somehow never seemed to be able to escape the shadow of his little brother, despite being arguably a top 5 player in the world the whole time. In 2021, Andy finally won his first Masters event title, the biggest regular online tournament, which was basically like a monthly world championships. But that year, Dog would win 3 Masters titles. They faced off again in the actual world championships at the end of the year, this time in the top 4, and Dog defeated Andy for a second time en route to winning world championship title number 2. In 2022, Andy would actually pull even with Dog in results. They would both win 2 Masters titles each, and in the World Championships, which returns to being held in person, they were both eliminated in the top 4 by different people. But whenever Andy faced up against Dog in the Masters event, it was like Dog was his kryptonite, and it would get brought up in interviews.
As you probably know, I've never won against Dog legitimately.
It's just a history of just like your stupid little brother is beating you every single time, and you're the older brother,
yeah.
And that doesn't seem right.
It doesn't seem right, I agree.
In 2023, though, things would turn in Andy's favor. In January, he won his first live tournament, the Heart of Texas Regional Championship. In August, he finally defeated Dog in the finals of a Masters event. And in November, he got a world record by being the first to ever make it to level 148, kickstarting a wave of top players trying to set new longevity records in the game. But then in December, something happened that sent seismic shockwaves throughout the rest of the scene.
In a developing story tonight, a Stillwater teen is credited as being the first person to beat Tetris.
A player named Blue Scooty would become the first person to play so far that the ancient code could no longer function, crashing the game.
Oh my god!
This got called beating the game because it was the first time someone had ever finished an original game of NES Tetris without losing by reaching the top of the screen. Scooty had also set a new score world record by getting over 6.85 million points. Immediately, Dog and Andy joined the race to become the next person to beat the game. The second person to do it would be Fractal161, and the third spot would go to none other than Andy himself. You may be thinking if 3 people got the game crash in rapid succession, it might not be as hard as it sounds, and trust me, that's not the case. It is insanely hard, and I go into full detail why on another video on my channel. But while Andy's game crush was phenomenal, as almost no one else in the world could do what he did, it didn't set any records in any measurable metric. It didn't have the highest level or highest score, those would both go to Blue Scooty, or the fastest time, that would go to Fractal. Andy was on the hunt for a world record of his own, and well, he would end up getting one beyond what he could have ever imagined. To put into perspective just how insane the world record Andy is about to get is, I'll quickly explain what the 3 major phases of the game are. Phase 1 is all the levels up to level 29. These levels are slow enough to be very easy for the pros, so the goal here is to get as many 4-line clears or Tetrises as possible, since they're worth by far the most points. And looking at the 3 game crashes, we can already see where Andy was lagging behind. He didn't get nearly as many Tetrises in this phase. Phase 2 is level 29 to level 137. Now, here's the thing about these levels. They're all exactly the same speed. Level 29 was designed to be the impossible maximum speed of the game, so it never gets any faster than that. And indeed, it was virtually impossible for decades after the game's release, until a new technique came along called rolling that allowed players to mash the controller buttons much faster. So how many Tetrises did the game crashers score on these levels? Well, the answer is very few. In fact, the record holder Blue Scooty has only half as much as Fractal. Why is that? Well, it all depends on where the Tetrises happen. As you go up the levels, line clears are worth more points. Blue Scooty got his last Tetris all the way on level 136, where it was worth over 164,000 points, nearly 5 times more valuable than Fractal getting a Tetris on level 29 for 36,000 points. And that begs the question, well then why don't players just go for Tetrises as late as possible? The thing is, surviving for a long time past level 29 is still pretty hard, and going for Tetrises at this speed is a major risk. So players don't usually want to throw a good game away over a single Tetris, something Andy had to learn the hard way on 2 very deep runs right before his game crash. On the first one, he needed a bailout Tetris but didn't get it.
No. No, 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 no.
And on the second one, he got it but fatally screwed up his stack in the process.
Nope, that's it.
But of course, there's still one phase left. Phase 3, levels 138 to 155 and beyond, where the game crash triggers start to appear. These levels are still the same speed, but present a whole new challenge. Because the game wasn't designed to last this long, the level colors just start glitching out. Some of the levels, like 146 and 148, known as Dusk and Charcoal, are very difficult to see. So it's no surprise that none of the game crashers even hinted at trying to go for Tetrises at this phase. The risk was just too great. But as you might expect, in order to shatter a world record, you have to throw conventional wisdom out the window. So let's finally get into the craziness that was Andy's game. Despite the first phase being easy, it can still cause a game over even for the pros. Andy was frustrated at a phase 1 top out right before his record.
Okay, the thing is, I think I do actually have to lock in for 29. Are you serious? If I'm even gonna get there! What is that? Bro literally never gets the line pieces. I'm saying, finally someone notices, like, where's my good RNG? Where's my fractal RNG?
RNG refers to the random number generator that determines which piece comes next. And Andy is alluding to the superstition that certain top players just get better RNG.
Fractal RNG is a real thing. Whenever you get all the long bars that you need, right? Whenever you get your Tetris ready. It used to be like dog playing Tetris RNG. Like, people would always say I am dog playing Tetris and then they get the bar, but now it's just fractal, bro.
And well, this superstition unfortunately seems to be staying true. Andy nearly dies again in phase 1 of this game after a particularly brutal sequence. But a few minutes later, Andy has an epiphany.
You know what? Enough of this superstition, you know what I'm saying? Fractal RNG, dog playing Tetris, that doesn't exist, okay? That's all in our heads. I am PixelAndy. Alright, I need this confidence, okay? There is no be like someone else, bro. Be who you are. Like, you are you. You feel?
And suddenly, the game starts to completely turn around. After the early struggles, Andy cruises through the rest of the phase 1 levels, ending up with 42 Tetrises before level 29, matching the best pace of the field. But the next phase is where Andy truly kicked into a higher gear. Unlike Fractal and Scooty, who had tried to snag a few quick Tetrises right after level 29, Andy plays it as safe as he can, avoiding any Tetris setups.
See, look how little material that there is on the board right now. I just have to focus on clearing as many lines as possible.
And it ends up being the right call because the game's pieces can mess with you at any moment. On level 48, 6 out of 7 pieces in a row are squares, but Andy has a clean spot to place all of them.
This is still what I'm talking about though, just clean Tetris. We already have 422 lines.
By level 51, Andy is about to break the 6-digit score counter, which is already modded to display the first digit in hexadecimal. When he hits 1.6 million, the score resets to 0. So we'll have to do some manual calculations to keep track of where he is later on, since Andy is just getting started. On level 59, Andy has still not scored any Tetrises, despite having seemingly ideal pieces for his setup.
Dude, great burns. It's not that easy to take the burn when there's a Tetris opportunity.
Finally, on level 69, Andy decides it's time to go for it.
Good burn down. I almost set that up. Probably gonna set this up though. Good choice.
And it pays off big time. A Tetris now is worth triple the value of one at the beginning of phase 2. Will Andy risk it again? He sets up for another one, but again, plays it smart and conservative.
I'm gonna set this one up too. Never mind. Set this up.
When the line piece doesn't come, he immediately has burn options and then patiently sets it up again.
Nice.
Now that he's on a good run though, the possibility of a world record is enticing. Andy starts dipping his toes into more dangerous Tetris setups.
I shouldn't have gone for that. That should have killed me. Let's just chill out till 3 million. No Tetrises until 3 mil.
As it turns out though, factoring in the glitched score counter, he was actually right on the verge of hitting it anyways.
Alright, there it is. 3 million.
Now, Andy starts evaluating his Tetris setups. This one is good because again, he has options to burn if he needs to.
Nice setup, dude. So clean.
But then he goes for one that is not the best, and he knows it.
Terrible setup. Terrible setup. Whew. I was trying to burn, but I was also trying to take a Tetris at the same time. I did the option in the middle of those two, which is like the worst thing to do.
Andy is mentally calibrating exactly how risky he should take things. And it's working. His Tetris setups get better and better.
What a clean setup, dude. Those actually make me smile. I'm not gonna lie.
Andy is starting to really pick up steam now and can barely keep track of how fast his score is climbing.
Wait, I think this is 4 mil. I think we're at 4 mil.
We've never seen a game with this many Tetrises this deep.
Yes, dude. Yes, man. Tetris are worth like 120k now.
Andy is starting to get on an immaculate pace, breezing past 5 million.
Alright, that's 5 mil, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is 5 million.
And what's really making this game count is that Andy is clutching up every save after he makes a mistake.
Alright, just a little bit of a scare. Just a little bit of a scare. It's fine.
On level 115, he has a pretty crazy sequence where to get out of a mess, he burns a line on 7 consecutive pieces.
Alright, this is getting good. Getting good. My heart is beating a little bit faster now.
Andy could not possibly be more locked in. On level 124, he makes a truly brilliant move. Take a moment to guess where you would put this T-piece. Would you place it here, or maybe here? Andy does none of these. He flips it upside down for a clean burn, which not only helps lower the stack while keeping the Tetris slot open, but also makes a perfect spot for the S-piece coming next. And then with the line piece coming after that, he cashes in the Tetris.
That was a hard decision to make. The T-flat burn. It was actually hard to do.
And suddenly, Andy is closing in on the world record. One more Tetris would get him nearly all the way there, and without breaking a sweat, he sets it up.
Yes! Tetris.
Incredibly, he is so in the zone that he doesn't even react until reaching the next 1,000,000-point milestone.
Nice. That was a great panic placement. Wait, I think that's it. I think that's 7 mil. Is that first ever 7 mil? I think it is.
Andy has indeed reached the first 7 million in NES Tetris history, breaking Blue Scooty's record before he even hit phase 3. And he's not even stepping off the gas at all.
Yes. Nice Tetris, dude. Alright, colors. Let's go.
Andy finishes a phase 2 run for the ages, running circles around his competition with 19 Tetrises. And the most absurd part is they all happened late. Andy had fully taken advantage of the bigger points on the higher levels. The only question left was, what would Andy do on phase 3? Well, phase 3 was something special. No other game crashers went for Tetrises on the glitched colors, but since Andy already had the world record, what did he have to lose? He decided to floor it. He got a Tetris right away. And then another one. He'd cruised past 8 million. His placements were perfect. Even when he got stuck in a dig on level 140, he clutched up an airtight line piece to the left to keep the game going and banged down another Tetris. And then another one.
Oh my god. Wait, this is freaking... Dude, this is actually insane. This is crazy.
PixelAndy was playing Phase 3 like no one had ever seen before. Tetrises were worth nearly 200,000 points now, and Andy wanted to keep it up, but he did have to be careful as the two darkest levels, Dusk and Charcoal, were coming up quick. Going into Dusk, he kept as low of a board as possible.
Nice, next box. Nice.
He had emerged from Dusk unscathed, but then right before Charcoal, he unfortunately made 2 mistakes in a row.
Oh no. No! Oh, I don't think this is a charcoalable board, man. This might be it. I don't think I could, yeah, this is not charcoalable.
Despite Andy feeling like he was doomed, he valiantly fought through the first half of the level before he made an unsalvageable misdrop.
Yeah, that's it. Wow. What score was that? Bro, what score was that?
With an unheard of 5 Tetrises in Phase 3, Andy's final score was 8,952,432. Over 2 million points above Blue Scooty.
What the hell?
Andy paced around his room, the magnitude of his score still sinking in. One thing's for sure, now no one would be referring to him as merely Dog's older brother anymore. As he had said himself,
I am PixelAndy.
And when Classic Tetris hosted a special 3-way Game Crashers exhibition event the other week, I said I wouldn't reveal the winner in my last video, but I'll reveal it now. The surprise winner was PixelAndy, cementing his status as a top contender for the best in the world right now.
Take your victory lap, Andy. You certainly deserve it. It will take the game in the match.
For perhaps the first time, he was the brother getting all the marquee invites and press, as Dog was still having trouble in just getting his own first game crash.
Dude, no joke, I think I'm just not cut out for marathons, dude. At least not on stream. I looked at chat, and then I just died, bro.
But for Andy, was this moment ever about finally one-upping his brother? It doesn't seem so, as he never seems to be upset about losing to Dog in the past.
I am actually pretty happy about like getting like second to him.
Yeah.
Like second to other people is like bro, but then second to him is like okay, like it's a good outcome still.
The brothers over the years had described each other not as rivals, but as allies. And playing each other was actually the preferred outcome, as it guaranteed someone from their family would advance.
Do you guys ever try to like mess each other up, like get inside each other's heads, like if you're like playing against each other? No?
Whenever we play each other, we kind of just know that like, whatever happens.
Yeah, right. It's not even that nervous. Like, I'm actually not that nervous never playing against it.
So it's a wild time in the world of Tetris. While it feels like we're at the climax of everything, the truth is things could just be getting started. There's a lot of great Tetris coverage happening by a bunch of different content creators right now. 2 follow-up videos I'd recommend to this one are Hydrant Dude, you probably remember him if you watched the Scooty Game Crash video. He just uploaded a new video explaining a scoring glitch that happened during PixelAndy's world record. And It's Sharky, one of the premier commentators in the scene, is also about to upload a video talking about the future of the score world record category and potential ways to break Andy's record. Links to both will be in the description. The official Classic Tetris YouTube channel is also now hosting a weekly show where the top players in the scene are racing to be the first to 10 million points, with a significant prize bounty already posted for the first person to be able to do it. If you're watching this video the day it comes out, the next live stream is happening tonight. And the next live Tetris event is happening this weekend at Genesis X in San Jose, California. I'll be there along with a ton of top players in the scene, so if anyone watching is going, be sure to check out the Tetris area. Thanks to the patrons who made this video possible, including a special thanks to channel sponsors Scott Gray, Super Anthony, and Gilbert Tang. And thank you to Marfram for additional help with research for the video. He's got a new Tetris column coming out on Saturday where he goes into detail on some more of the info that didn't make it into this video, which I'll also link in the description. Also, thank you for 100,000 subscribers, everyone. See you in the next one.